is it about Trump that you love so much?
Number one, he's a godly man. He's working for God, for darn sure. Number two, he really cares about us. He cares about us. He cares about what happens to us. He cares about our country. He didn't come in there because he wanted the money. He's got money.
Anything you can do to help, $5, $10, $25, $100, whatever you can do, we're going to make it. We're going to use that money well, and we're going to win because we're dealing against some very sick and corrupt people. So we're going to win. We're going to make America great again, greater than ever before.
The MAGA cult is running low on cash, and so their leader is getting desperate.
Because if we don't win on November 5th, I think our country is going to cease to exist. It could be the last election we ever have. I actually mean that. We don't win. I think this could be the last election we ever have. That's where our country's going.
The former president is actually right. This upcoming presidential election will make or break the American infrastructure as we know it. But for someone as power hungry and selfish as Donald Trump, this is a matter of lining his pockets and picking at the scabs of a country wrought with fear and civic tension.
If Trumpism is a cult, it is the worst cult in history because people come and go as they please. Everything is wholly transparent. There's nothing is secretive about it. And people seem to be having a good time. It doesn't seem like they're terrified of reprisals. If this is a cult, then so is Oktoberfest. I mean, Trump, if you want to...
With a plan of extorting as much as he can from his base before his inevitable deceit, at the hands of his own political and financial misgivings, Donald Trump knows exactly what's waiting for him at the end of this presidential run. The end of his world as we know it. Donald Trump is a con man, willing to sink any and all who don't support his faux platform, disavowing those who don't relegate themselves to fluffing his pillow and covering his great escape. But when does the political malfeasance and personal dysfunction of Donald Trump go a bit too far?
Because if we don't win on November 5th, I think our country is going to cease to exist.
It is when the right-wing machine partners up with the selfish propaganda of a figurehead like Donald Trump to instigate a faux opposition in the country and polarize the masses. In this paradigm, folks are pushed to their extremist ends, following along their ideological underpinnings, and fueled by fake news and red flagging, voters buy into the right-wing story of incandescent, evil, and divine redemption. And this narrative is co-opted and corroborated by the right-wing media, who are in a rush to legitimize their fringe coalitions and maintain a veneer of authenticity to hide their true corruption. But just like Donald Trump, Fox News and other sites of deep misinformation compel voters to a fabricated truth about the state of the nation and the sanctity of the MAGA crusade. They virtue signal and dog whistle. They incite riots and rebellions and then shed all ounce of accountability. They break penal law and avoid fundamental responsibilities as Americans, all in spite of the country and abetted by the extreme misinformation of the right. But what about Trump's pitiful final grasp spiting the American people reveal about his outlook on the 2024 presidential election? Because we know that the resulting financial penalties arising out of Trump's flailing legal woes have surmounted much more than he can bear. Threatened with the forfeiture of his estates and assets, it's no wonder that Trump turns to his irreverent supporter base, wholly ignorant and woefully loyal, to tap the well dry and cushion the consequences of his lofty mistakes. But the MAGA empire is hanging on by a thread. And it really is telling to observe Donald Trump in the now. Now that the emperor has no clothes, or at the very least is caught with his pants around his ankles. It is in the best interest of the MAGA team and the Fox News pundits themselves to keep the dream of a right-wing takeover alive. But the lengths by which the right will go to protect its best interests and maintain a gilded legacy is deforming what was once a political affiliation. A perspective committed to the functioning understanding of the United States has been replaced by the mantra of a deranged individual, a backwards ideology, and a completely corrupted political party. The Conservative Party, with Donald Trump as its figurehead, is nothing more than a cash cow, a conspiracy built to brace the elite of the consequences. And unfortunately, we all know what happens when a cult leader has said enough is enough. And it seems like Donald Trump is nearing the end of his rope, so the only question remains. And it seems like Donald Trump is nearing the end of his rope, so only one question remains. Will you drink the Kool-Aid? This is Adrian Costa with Rebel HQ. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check back for more videos.